I just came out to say thank you. Something remarkable is happening around the country. We were doing a kind of clearinghouse call yesterday with a lot of different groups of the coalition and national coalition about all of the different events that are happening. There's literally hundreds of events happening at all different levels across the country in pretty much every state, with a focus on specific states that you know. This has very much become kind of a spontaneous ground-up movement to get this done. And I can tell you that it was the reason we got 50 Democratic votes in the Senate this past week to move forward on this bill. 2.5 weeks ago, you did that. 2.5 weeks ago, when that op-ed was written, you remember, everybody was getting sort of shaky hands. But within about 48 hours, the energy was reassembling because people said, we're not giving up. We're just not accepting no for an answer here. And the more they didn't give up, the more power they felt. And that actually has helped contribute to this sense that we're at a moment in history that cannot be missed. And I think lawmakers are feeling that in Washington. That's how come we got that vote on Tuesday. If you think about it, on Tuesday, every Democrat in Washington was saying we need to move forward. The president, the vice president, the Speaker of the House, of course, Majority Leader Schumer, and 50 unified Democratic senators in the Senate were saying failure is not an option. And 50 Republicans were standing against it, making it clear that if we're going to get this done, if we are going to move forward and save our democracy, there has to be a rules change in the Senate, because you can't do it with 60. You have to do it with 50 plus 1. And that is happening. That sense of history that is, I think, coming around lawmakers now is coming from the people refusing to give up at this critical moment. So we knew that when the voting suppression started, people were getting very anxious and saying, well, what are we going to do? And we were able to say, we have a bill for that. And then when we heard about the plans of the Republicans to do more partisan gerrymandering across the country to try and capture the House, people said, what are we going to do? And we said, we have a bill for that. When we saw new spending of dark money coming in to try to upset our democracy, people said, what can we do about the dark money? And we were able to say with the For the People Act, we have a bill that can address those challenges. So, in the same way that John Lewis stood on that bridge, looked across, saw those troopers with these billy clubs, and made the decision to march forward anyway, in the face of that, Americans are choosing to march forward in the face of the challenges we see. And Martin Luther King in Memphis in 1968, in his last speech, the mountaintop speech, talked about the injunction that the court was going to issue to stop them from marching. And he said, we're not going to let any injunction turn us around. We're not going to let any filibuster turn us around. This is going to end in victory. It's going to happen because of your voice, your work, your activism. So keep it up. Thanks for being part of this movement.